All right, so real quick, this video won't be long at all because I'm on my way to go pick up my girls, but I just really doing like a reaction to everything that's going on in CHH right now. There's a lot going on in the church as a whole right now, between the whole Daryl Wall situation, him kissing another dude, between Kenneth Copeland cutting his hand out, putting his blood in the cup, Paula White speaking in tongues, just madness across the board. And then you have Bryson Gray, who comes out and he makes a song and says in the hook that Lecrae is a fake Christian. And to be honest, I love this time because it is really pressing and really testing the church to be what it's actually called to be. Is Lecrae a fake Christian? Obviously, you can see I'm a Reach Records fan, but I'm not biased. Would I say Lecrae is a fake Christian? Nah, Lecrae is not a fake Christian. Anybody that's been in CHH from his beginning to now can attest that he's not a fake Christian. Has he done some things that has made him appear to be lukewarm? Has he made some moves that even his own camp hasn't liked, as far as, standing on certain things? Yes, most definitely. He has. And he's gotten pushed back by people that haven't agreed with all his decisions. Gotta understand, this is just not Lecrae as a one-man show standing on, his own 2 feet. There's a whole culture behind Lecrae, who is the big man, one of the most influential, if not the most influential figure in Christian hip-hop, and becoming the most influential figure in hip-hop as a whole. So this is just not a one-man show. I love the fact that cats like Bryson Gray is coming out, and I love the energy. And the reason why I love the energy is because I can identify with Bryson Gray. And the reason why I can identify with Bryson Gray is because there's been plenty of stuff to this day that's gone on in church that's like, oh, absolutely not. We should, preach the gospel in church, and, we're not preaching the gospel and all this stuff that I'm on. You can just take a survey of my YouTube page. You can take a survey of my Instagram. You can take a survey of my Facebook, and you will see that that's what I be on, is saying stuff that nobody else pretty much will say, or really speak in my mind on things that I'm passionate about, because they're things that need to be talked about. So I can rock with somebody like Bryson. I understand him. I understand you, Bryson, if you see this. I definitely understand the energy. I get it. Why aren't Christians talking about the things that they actually need to talk about? Why aren't they talking about, gayness is wrong and all this other stuff? I definitely get it. I understand 100%. So, but I will give you that. What else I wanted to say? I'm here to pick up my girls now, so that's why my stream of consciousness or conversation kind of paused for a minute. Like I said, I love this time that we're in. I love the fact that you got freedom of speech, and you got people like MAGA rappers, and you got CHH going at each other right now, because anytime there's a lot of disagreement about a lot of things, that means that change is on the horizon. We don't have to be at each other's necks. I mean, we could tone it down. And like I was saying, I've had to tone it down myself, as far as like coming at certain pastoral leadership and local leadership in my own context. I've had to tone it down. I've left, fellowship that I was a part of because I simply don't agree that the word is not being taught, and, preaching about people over the pulpit or whatever the case may be. There's certain things that I don't agree with. So I've left, and I've continued to talk and run my mouth over the airwaves and over mediums like doing lives and Facebooks and quotes and stuff like that. I get it. Thank God I've had brothers that have provided pushback to me to say, hey, dude, look at yourself. You know, even though what you may be saying is right, you know, your timing is off and the method that you do it is off. Because at the end of the day, all of us in the body of Christ, all of us that call ourselves Christian, we love Christ, you know, and that even goes, you know, Bryson, if you're listening to this even goes for Lecrae. You know, I would encourage you to look into 2 of his books. His most recent book that's out called I Am Restored, How I Lost My Religion But Found My Faith. I would encourage you to go and get that book so that you can learn more about Lecrae and why he's made the moves that he has made. And I also would encourage you to get the book, his first book, Unashamed, because this tells his story. This tells of where he came from. You know, the first book does a great job at it. The second book does a lot better job at going into even more depth and detail to tell this man's story. There's a lot more to it than just coming out and say he a fake Christian because he don't stand on this and he doesn't say certain things. Now, back to the positives. Now, I commend you for saying, yo, why you not standing up on homosexuality and things like that. I love this time because it's forcing us to stand up on what we actually believe on. Because honestly, you know, there's certain things that we just won't talk about for whatever reason. There's just certain things that we won't talk about. I've always wondered what Lecrae's viewpoints were on gay marriage or gays or homosexuality. And there's a Vlad interview. If I find it, I'll put it in the comments of this YouTube video. But there's a Vlad interview where Lecrae, you know, gives his thoughts on homosexuality. And actually, Bryson, you may have seen it. And you may say that he danced around it. And a lot of people that's outside of what position Lecrae is in, they say, oh, no, if I was in that position, I would just say no. And I would just be cut and dry. But you know what? The problem with that is if we are cut and dry, obviously we're not going to have anybody's attention. If we're cut and dry, that doesn't mean that we walk on eggshells. That's not what that means. It's just that there is a way to do certain things. And the thing that we could do, the thing that I would say myself and the thing like you, Bryson, could do, and the thing that anybody else that has a critique of people that's where Lecrae is, the thing that we could do, by the way, why it's on my mind, look up, what is it? I got moves I ain't made yet. I got moves I ain't made yet. It's a Lecrae song. I think it's called Yet. I'm going to put that in the description as well. Look that up, because a lot of people want to talk about Lecrae and all this other stuff, but they never take the seat of a student and sit back and learn from the moves that Lecrae has made and look at him as somebody to be followed as far as like, okay, well, why is he doing this? It's not a question of why is he doing this. It's just a question of, oh, he's a fake Christian because he's not coming out and say, I'm against homosexuality and I'm against gay marriage and all this other stuff. He uses the word nuance a lot. You just can't go in there with a bulldozer and just start ripping up stuff. These are people. These are souls. It's not just a cut and dry, right and wrong kind of thing. You know what? You remind me of the Pharisees who brought the woman that was caught in the act of adultery, and they were all ready to stone and kill her. And Jesus took his time, and he was just like, yo, wrote in the sand or whatever, he that's without the first sin, cast the first stone. And they saw that they couldn't really judge this woman, and they all walked away. So he dealt with them, and then he dealt with the woman and said, well, where are your accusers? And she knew she was in the wrong. And that's the thing about it is, gay people and other people you would bring accusations against, they already know they're wrong. He talked to her, he moved with compassion with her and said, now go and sin no more. The one person that could have thrown a stone didn't, but he had compassion. We could learn a lot from Jesus in situations like that. Don't be quick to run your mouth. I've had to learn this recently myself. We can't be quick to run our mouths. We should be quick to take the seat of a student and not be quick to slander our brothers and sisters, because at the end of the day, we all brothers and sisters. We shouldn't be calling each other fake Christians, and we shouldn't be doing stuff for clickbait. I'm not saying that you're doing that for that reason, although it looks like that to others, but we just got to chill. Like right now is the time for us to pause take the pros and cons from both sides, because both sides, and if I could just, for the purpose of example, say the CHH side and the MAGA rapper sides, both sides have critical points of value to make. And if we just listen to each other, the church will be better for it. If we just listen to each other, the church will be better for it. There's people on the MAGA side that's for make a great. There's people on the MAGA side that are for Make America Great Again, and they're not all crazy. They're fighting for rights. They're fighting for freedom of speech. They're fighting for things that they believe is right. We got to stop writing each other off, because everything that the people on the MAGA rapper side says isn't all trash. And everything on the CHH side that they say isn't all treasure. We all have valid points to make. We all have something to say. We just got to listen to each other, man. That's all I got to say.